It was a nervous start to the season at Oulton Park.
Oh, Chiltern's gone too soon. That's Nick Tandy pushing hard. Wait, Boyd, he's lost it. Oh, he's hit his teammate. What a weekend for Daniel Ricciardo.
Hello and welcome to Silverstone in Northamptonshire, which is the home of British motorsport, for more action from the British Formula 3 International Series. Now we're on the Grand Prix circuit, so it's a chance for the drivers to stretch their legs a bit and dream of that international stardom. But they can't take it too easy because it's going to be very tough. This is one of the most famous tracks in the world, and at just over 3 miles long, it's also one of the fastest and most flowing that we go to.
Cops, the first corner is flat out and you don't actually lift until you get round to Beckett.
You always have the back end trying to go and you're kind of trying to control and
but then it's also got a few slow corners in it as well. It's very technical. To drive it around this lap is unbelievable.
Now, if you're wondering what happened to rounds 3 and 4 from Oulton Park, well, they had to be postponed because the circuit wasn't ready to race on. They will happen again later in the year. But this competition is still at the very early stages. It's wide open, so lots to play for. Oulton Park turned out to be the perfect debut for the young Aussie Daniel Ricciardo. He powered his way to 2 impressive victories around the challenging Cheshire circuit and looks like he's going to be the man to beat this season.
Oulton Park was a great weekend for me. Carlin helped me out with a great car, and I was able to finish on the top of the podium both times for him. So it was a really good weekend.
Austrian driver Walter Grubmuller also impressed last time out, claiming his first pole position as well as 2 podium finishes. And Britain's Nick Tandy was also right up the front, claiming the other podium spots. Not bad for the small JTR team, who look like they're going to be strong contenders this season.
A second and a third lap record at Oulton Park, a track we've never been too fond of. It was good, and for the team, we also had a win in the Formula Ford, our sister team. It was a good start to the season.
Oulton Park was a missed opportunity for Max Chilton. He lined up in pole position for race 1, but made a mistake and jumped the lights before the start. He was eventually awarded a 1-minute penalty, which potentially cost him a win.
It was a good start as well. It's just a bit too early. I think I was just a bit anxious. I saw the 5-second board come out and I automatically thought that was lights on. And as I looked up, I saw them flicker, and you're waiting for anything to happen. And I just went a bit of a schoolboy error, but everyone's done it.
So for round 3 at Silverstone, it's Max Chilton on pole, and he'll be hoping for a better getaway from the lights. Here's Martin Haven to talk us through the grid.
Well, this is the way they line up then for round 3 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series. It's a second pole for Max Chilton with the Volkswagen engine ahead of new boy Renger van der Zende. Adriano Bazide shows a big improvement to qualify third, with Daisuke Nakajima alongside him with the second Mercedes engine on the grid. Honours even then for the 2 German manufacturers. Ricky Christodoulou and Walter Grubmuller line up on row 3 ahead of Henry Arundel and Ollie Oakes on an all-British row 4. Carlos Huertas and Wayne Boyd round out the top 10, with Gabriel Diaz on the national class pole in 13th. Huge crowd here at Silverstone and fabulous weather this bank holiday weekend, ready for round 3 of the British Formula 3 Championship. Revs rise, red lights are on, and away they go. Max Chilton leads from pole position, slow away Ricky Christodoulou. Chilton moving over to try and guard his lead into the first corner, but it's all too late. The rookie leads. Renger van der Zende has the lead into the first corner. Max Chilton goes with him. The yellow car is Adriano Bazide in 3rd place. 4th place, well, Christodoulou swamped in the middle of that group. It's Daisuke Nakajima. Up to 5th has gone Grubmuller. 6th, Christodoulou. 7th place from 11th on the grid. That's Daniel Ricciardo. So good start from him after crashing his car in qualifying, making amends already. Well, lead 3 away. Nakajima under pressure. Around the outside, Grubmuller's gone by him. Further back, Ollie Oakes battling for position with about 3 cars. But again, Nakajima down the inside, retakes 4th. Wow, What an opening third of a lap we've got already. Down the inside, more pressure. The battle for fourth is very much alive. Chiltern takes a very tight inside line with Adriano Preside rushing down towards Abbey for the first time. This is a high-speed approach to a heavy braking area. Chiltern guarding the inside line. So, behind the lead trio, fourth place is Nakajima, fifth, Christodoulou, and it looks like Ricardo was trying to go by Grubmuller for sixth position. The T-Sport team watching the screens. This is their man, he's in third place. Beside qualifying third, his best qualifying of the season. And looking very quick here indeed, right with the leaders, not lost an inch to them from the start. Across the line they go, 17 more laps will decide this round 3 of the championship. And it does look as though the lead trio are going to be the only ones contesting this win already. A lap in, and they are easing away from their rivals. Nakajima with Christodoulou and Grubmuller behind him. Grubmuller, there he is, the black car right behind, still the yellow nose of the man we ride with now. Daniel Ricciardo, our championship leader, hassling Walter Grubmuller. Got a good exit onto the hangar straight, just closing ever so gently. Little bit of slipstream effect working here, and they're leaving the rest behind them. Whoops, mistake there from Max Snegerev. Got caught out in the first corner. Now Nakajima all over the back of Petide. This is for third place. The Japanese driver really harassing his man, and as we ride with Ricky Christodoulou into the Beckett's S's, slowing down. Oh, Nakajima lost the tail end. Big slide, counter steering. The Japanese is going to be so slow onto the straight. Here we go. Around the outside of Nakajima, Christodoulou goes right by him, and behind, as you see that move completed. Yes, Ricardo dives down the inside of Grubmuller. He was shaping up all the way, and Grubmuller just couldn't come onto the racing line to defend. Now then, looking at Nakajima, can he catch the Japanese driver by surprise? Yes, he can. Arrive past, straight by. Classic stuff. Daniel Ricciardo, great overtaking. Well, he showed at Oulton Park he can lead from the front and run away. He's showing here he really can race and overtake. So Ricciardo now up to fifth place. Nakajima trying to fight back. He's got Grubmuller right behind him. Well, this is how Ricciardo started the race. Disposes of Wayne Boyd and Carlos Huertas off the line before he's into second gear. Right in front of him, Henry Arundel, inside him into the first corner, as Ollie Oakes goes outside Grubmuller. Grubmuller gets through, Ollie Oakes held up a little bit. He's our next target, left or right, down the left into Maggots. Ooh, narrow gap, but he gets through and he's latched right onto Christodoulou. Well, that was a great opening spell there from Daniel Ricciardo, and once more it's the Fortec car of Ricky Christodoulou that's right in front of us. Now we're fourth and fifth. Oops, a wobble from the two of them. Christodoulou goes off a little further than Ricciardo, desperately trying to keep the momentum up. He's got the inside into Maggots and the beginning of the Beckett's S's as well. Ricciardo has to just drop a cog to keep his speed up. So Christodoulou survived that little error. Out front, still, and again on the curbs and over the loose stuff there. Compromised his line onto the straight. Checking his mirrors, you could see, to try and find out how close Nakajima has got as the Carlin Motorsport men watch and wait. Further back, though, this is Carlos Huertas. And right behind him, Nick Tandy in the Miguel. Tandy only qualified 15th, Huertas was 9th on the grid, and at the moment this is the battle for 10th behind Ollie Oakes and Henry Arundel, sweeping around the outside. He's got it done. Yes, that closes the door on the exit. Good move by Tandy. There's big brother Joe, the Joe of Joe Tandy Racing, of course. Yeah, he's liking that. Meanwhile, on the run up to Abbey, Huertas isn't done, or is he? Yes, he is. The Miguel stays in front. I think that might have just finally put the position change to bed. Next target for Tandy might well be Henry Arundel in front. On board with Ricky Christodoulou. Now then, out through Copse Corner. It's very fast, but clearly with a few laps on the tyres, not ultimately flat out. Survived that drama though, and he still has his fourth place, and he also still has championship leader Daniel Ricciardo right behind him. On board with Ricky once more. into Priory. Oh, and that's the third place man, Adriano Pazide, running over the gravel, got away with that just by the skin of his teeth. And luckily for him, Christodoulou and Ricciardo were not close enough to catch him and do any damage, but the leaders have definitely dropped him now, Van der Zande and Chilton, and look again, just in the edge of the shot. I tell you what, another foot off line, that would have been the end of his race. He would not have come back out of that gravel trap. Now, tiny lapse in concentration can really cost you. On board once more with Daniel Ricciardo, and look around the edges of the corner just how much muck has been left by earlier races. That's why we're seeing so many mistakes. You get a foot off line, you're on all that loose rubber, and it's called marbles because that's exactly what it feels like. The wheel just goes away from under the car and rolls on the rubber. Last lap onto the hanger straight. Is he close enough? He's getting a little bit of a tow. Bruce Jenkins, the high-tech team boss. They haven't won a race since 2007 when Marco Asma won the championship with a Dallara Mercedes. Don't forget, Mercedes have yet to win a race this season. Both races at Oulton Park with Volkswagen-powered winners. In fact, the same winner, Daniel Ricciardo. But now it looks as though we will have a new name on the top of the pile. Renger van der Zande of the Netherlands. Well, what a coup if High-Tech could keep his services for the season, because he certainly looks as though he has every chance of running at the front of the field on a regular basis. For Mercedes, it's going to be a first win of the year in Great Britain, and a first win too ever in Great Britain for Renger van der Zande. He claims victory and showers the team in muck and grit, but they will not care one iota. They are winning again. And our national class winner is our pole sitter. Gabriel Diaz wins for the first time. Brazil's Gabriel Diaz then the national class winner. Fifth for Ricciardo, a sensation. Pazide third, Chilton second. But our race winner is Renger van der Zande.
Well, actually it wasn't that easy because there was a lot of wind. I even went off one time in Beckett. And but it was a fun race to drive. I had to drive all the way on the limit because Chilton was chasing me quite a lot. But happy with it's a good entry of the championship, I think.
Good victory now, good recovery from last year after the accident. So let's look forward for the next race, see if we can win it again.
So we've had one great race already, and there's another one still to come. Join us for that after the break. For round 4 here at Silverstone, it's a Carlin lockout on the front row with Max Chilton alongside Daniel Ricciardo. Here's Martin Haven with the grid.
Here's how they line up for round 4 of the Cooper Tyres British Formula 3 International Series. Max Chilton on his third pole of the season. Will it be third time lucky? Daniel Ricciardo, much better, no mistakes in qualifying this time. Front row start for him. Best of the Mercedes qualifiers, that's Ricky Christodoulou in third, ahead of similarly powered Race 1 winner Van der Zande. Adriano Pazide, fifth for T-Sport, ahead of Daisuke Nakajima, with Henry Arundel again in seventh, Carlos Huertas behind him. Walter Grummler and Miguel mounted Nick Tandy round out the 10, with Gabriel Diaz 13th, again on the national class pole. Well, as the busy crowd clears the grid, cars getting ready for round 4 of the championship. Max Chilton again on pole position, third time lucky maybe. Good start from Henry Arundel, and they're fanning out behind the pole sitter, but it is Chilton's white nose that shows first. Ricciardo behind him, Christodoulou looking strong. Nick Tandy around the outside, that's a good start from him as well. Up from 10th on the grid, he's picked up 2 or 3 places with Adriano Pazide. Rushing down through Maggots and into the Beckett's S's, right, then left. Very demanding. Tandy goes inside him into the second sequence. Has he done enough? Yes, he has. Oh, but Tandy's slow out of the Chapel curve. Here comes Pazide. Right behind them was Nakajima, and Nakajima coming through quicker than both of them. Let's look. Nakajima's the red car in the middle. He's going to do them both. Yes, he does. Great move. Daisuke Nakajima takes 2 cars by going right up the middle on board with Pazide. Now, can he fight back? Can he force an error from the Japanese driver? Certainly not exiting the Vale. Let's see what he can do further round out of club corner, this wide, flat, open corner. Outside in 6th position, Nick Tandy right behind him, and there's the battle right behind them. Silvercar's Henry Arundel, Walter Grummel in the dark car, and Carlos Huertas in the blue and white machine. They round out the top 10. Right behind them is our national class leader. Just behind Huertas, the red car, that is Daniel McKenzie, who won the opening 2 races in the national class. There's Walter Grummel. High-tech teammate won the opening race, Van der Zande. And there Wayne Boyd, car number 4, teammate to Adriano Putzide, and the reigning British Formula 4 champion. Grummel trying to stay in touch with the cars in front. They're starting to spread out a little. In front of us as we ride with Putzide is Nakajima. There's the T-Sport crew running Putzide and Boyd. And Adriano's father never got to race in the UK in Formula 3 successfully. Alvaro, a good Formula Ford racer. And now his young son, he's returned to the UK with him to bring him up through Formula Ford last year and F3 this season. Russell Ecott on the left. Had a very strong season last year with Sergio Perez. 4 wins in the middle of the year and championship contenders all the way through to the end. Oh dear, and that's bad news for Max Snegerev. He's gone off, and that is the exit of the Beckett's S's. Let's have a look here. Yes, the final element of it, just turning in through the Chapel Curve far too quickly. Max Chilton leads narrowly from Daniel Ricciardo, with race 1 winner Renger van der Zande in 3rd. On board with Ricky Christodoulou in 4th place. That is the high-tech car in front of us. We ride in 4th, Van der Zande in 3rd, but for how long, I'm not sure. Well, he wasn't convincing into or out of Copse there, and Christodoulou's all over him. He's got a chance for an inside move here, and straight through. Van der Zande surprisingly caught off guard there. Christodoulou takes the tight defensive exit line. Such a wide corner here, even in a Grand Prix car, you can use inside, outside. And Daisuke Nakajima is on the racing line as these two battle on the inside. Christodoulou holds on, but that means Nakajima will be getting closer behind them. So this is 4th, 5th and 6th, and it looks as though Ricky has shaken off the Dutchman. Carlin Motorsport team with a 1-2 at the moment. Chilton in front of Ricciardo. Which way is this going to go? Max Chilton's 3rd pole, he's winless. Ricciardo, as we ride with him, already has 2 wins at Oulton Park, has yet to taste the delight of qualifying at the front of the field, and the mistake from Chilton. He's gone in too fast, and he is going to be perilously slow out onto the Hangar Straight. Surely this is a done deal even before we get there. Ricciardo suddenly from 7/10 behind is not even 700ths behind. He's alongside. He's have to be a little bit brave on the outside, but Chilton did not have the momentum. Wheel to wheel through Stowe. Watching it on the monitors, holding their breath in the garage, but it's done. Ricciardo has the lead. Chilton in 2nd place. What a mistake, and how costly by Max Chilton. Well, time and time again, the Beckett Sesses catch the unwary out, and just a simple mistake. He's been so long in the lead, Max Chilton, must have been watching the mirrors just a little too closely and missed his braking. Let's have a look again. Into the first element, look, miles from the apex, miles away, much too close to the right-hander that follows, having to get off the throttle and brake early. And Ricciardo suddenly, from being out of harm's reach, was on him and by. 15 of the 18 laps completed. Max Chilton under pressure for 2nd place now. Ricky Christodoulou suddenly right behind him. Well, Chilton really needs to gather his momentum once more, because Christodoulou has reeled him in very quickly, and the way Ricky has disposed with rivals in both races here at Silverstone, he is a man on a mission now. Look at this, a sniff of at least 2nd, and who knows, maybe a chance to close on the leader. Oh, he sells the safe route and then goes inside, and Chilton went for it. Moved straight back onto the racing line as soon as Christodoulou did, thought there was no harm, and suddenly Ricky was up the inside, and trouble That's Van der Zande. The high-tech car is not very quick. Looks like he's wriggling around a little bit, maybe to try and pick up some fuel or shake something that's loose tight again. Never really works, though. As Henry Arundel goes by him, he's dropping down to the foot of the top 10. Well, for Carlin, it was looking as though it was going to be a 1-2. Now it's not. Ricciardo is all on his own. For Fortec Motorsport, Ricky Christodoulou in second. Carlin's Max Chilton in third, but he's got Nakajima right behind him as well. So Chilton had really got to mind his P's and Q's in the last half lap. But for Ricky Christodoulou, a chance to take the win, I think, would need another 3 or 4 laps. Daniel Ricciardo is too far ahead. Our race leader through Abbey. Now only Bridge and the infield segment remain. Sweeping through Bridge at 160 miles an hour, hard onto the brakes into Priory. Short shoot up towards Brooklands, stay out of the gravel, down another couple of gears, and the checkered flag is being readied. The Carlin Motorsport team are now looking a little bit more relaxed. It's win number 3 for Daniel Ricciardo. The Aussie takes the checker on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. What a good job. He wore his rival down and celebrates his reward. Gabriel Diaz snatched the national class win on the final lap. Max Chilton finished third behind compatriot Ricky Christodoulou, but again, top of the pile, Daniel Ricciardo from Australia.
Another exciting race. Just brings me back to a year ago in the Euro Cup. I won in similar conditions. So yeah, just knew I had the pace. But you know, passing isn't so easy in these Formula cars. And it eventually took a small mistake from Max to get me alongside him, and you know, we drove pretty clean for 2 corners alongside each other, and then I was able to come out in front, and the last 3 or 4 laps just got some clear air, and it felt really good.
It was my race. I can't say anything else apart from that. I led for the whole thing pretty much. 3 laps to go. Going into turn 2, just wouldn't go down the box. Tried, just wouldn't go down. Got it down eventually. I just didn't have any speed down the straight, and Dan just cruised past. And by that point, the car had gone off quite a lot, lost adrenaline, and before I knew it, Ricky was going down the inside of me. It was too late, and I just kept third, but it means nothing.
Danny McKenzie still leads the national class as Chilton slips to 4th in the standings behind Christodoulou, Tandy, and extending his lead, Daniel Ricciardo. Well, you can't imagine it's long before Chilton and Christodoulou can take victory, but first they've got to stop the runaway Aussie.
So it's been another exciting weekend here at Silverstone, but the Formula 3 circus has to move on, and next time we go to Rockingham in Northamptonshire. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.
A busy afternoon racing lies ahead from 2 o'clock, and the morning line is next on for